Swallowed Star 499 Pure Feather Tau. Chapter 499. Pure Feather Tau. Pure Feather family was far more ancient than the recent Rockwind family. The strongest warrior in Swallow Mound territory was coincidentally from the Pure Feather family. Pure Feather Tau. Domain Lord Level 6, he was the oldest in the family currently. He was also the strongest and the true person controlling the family from the shadows. He was the true man with power. Just like how the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had an emperor, with many generations of successive emperors. In truth, however, the person with the true power was the god leader of the sacred land Black Dragon Mountain. Pure Feather Tau was the man that was truly in control. A pavilion that was completely purple with 3 levels, and the entire staircase was built with wood that was dyed purple. Just the cost of this construct alone was more expensive than the entire Pure Feather family's other territories. 3rd level. A black-bearded middle-aged man dressed in a loose robe sat quietly on his bed with his eyes shut. Suddenly, a powerful energy ripple rushed from the northeast direction. Blood River World had other directions. East, south, west, and north were uniform. However, the absolute directions were different from Earth's. Pure Feather Tau's expression grew serious, immediately spreading out his spirit energy to sweep the area. Because he was a fighter, when compared to a spirit reader, his spirit energy was much weaker. However, when one reaches the Domain Lord level, sweeping with spirit energy was still an easy thing to do. Rumble! With the pavilion as the center, the torrent of spirit energy rippled in all directions, immediately sweeping the entire mansion and that particular palace. As he checked, his expression changed immediately. So he rushed out from the bed and vanished. Within the palace that the family leader resided in, the smell of blood filled the air, as over 300 bodies were on the ground. Red and white stains the ground, it was disgusting to look at. And about the same time these 300 over people just fell, a bearded middle-aged man in a loose gray robe floated in the air above the palace. His eyes were raging as he looked down below. The palace's 2nd level window was open, and through it a beautiful woman was peeking through. After spotting the blood that flowed like a river, the scene caused her to shriek. Huff! In mid-air Pure Feather Tau's expression changed. Rumble! Mud-yellow energy waves immediately engulfed the palace. Simultaneously, the waves wrapped itself around the white-robed Yukuchi and the lady that was hiding in the palace, dragging them into mid-air. Speak, what happened? Pure Feather Tau looked at the two, filled with rage. This. That beautiful lady's face was pale. However, Yukuchi only shook his head. I don't know. I just know that a black silhouette appeared suddenly, and after that I saw these over 300 people use their own weapons to kill themselves. And the family leader was taken away. Pure Feather Tau looked at the lady. Yes, it was Yukuchi. He brought someone to meet the leader only went out because of that. I don't know anything else. The beautiful lady shook her head. Pure Feather Tau looked at Yukuchi. Yukuchi, however, had a peculiar smile. Peng! His body violently exploded. The bones and other stuff that flew from the explosion pierced through the lady beside him. She stared wide-eyed at the 3 large holes in her chest, shouting, "Save me!" Almost all people on Blood River World were at least Star Traveler level, this woman too, hence even with holes in her chest she hadn't died yet. So. From the distance, many silhouettes floated over. It was the family's strongest warriors and important figures. Elder, what's going on? Grandfather, what is this? The nurtured upper echelon of the family were all stunned as they looked at the large group of bodies in the palace. My God, amongst them there were the 9 Shadow Guards. Those were the 9 Great Shadow Guards, a formidable force in the Pure Feather family. 9 cloud levels. Go and look for me and bring back the family leader. Pure Feather Tau raged. Simultaneously his energy wave exploded about, almost like a formless blade piercing straight through that lady, leaving nothing but a mess. Yes. The group complied. Actually, from seeing the over 300 guards who were all dead, they had already guessed that the outcome of the family leader was not good. From hearing the story, he should have been taken away. Bastard! With mud-yellow energy waves surrounding him, like a god in the night floating in mid-air, Pure Feather Tao was madly scanning the area with his spirit energy. He was a fighter, hence his spirit energy was more condensed and gentle. Its control and magnitude paled far in comparison to that of a spirit reader. However, to simply scan was not a problem at all. As the gravity of Blood River World was extremely huge, Pure Feather Tao's scan could only be spread up to about 80 kilometers. Where is he? Wrapped in the energy, he flew over for around 100 kilometers. In the dark night above Swallow Mound City, a mud-yellow light was swiftly flashing about, suddenly flashing to another region here and there, obviously searching the entire Swallow Mound City. Swallow Mound City, City Leader's Mansion. A tall and sturdy middle-aged man with a dark green engraving on his forehead walked along the palace's railings. He was dressed in a blood-red scaled armor. With his cold eyes he was looking up at the sky at Pure Feather Tao, who was searching all over Swallow Mound City, as he said softly, "This old punk, what is he raging about?" Humph. To enrage this old punk this much, the Pure Feather family must have suffered a huge loss. His lips curled into a cold smile. He was the one with the most authority within Swallow Mound City, the city leader, Rock Wind Xiong. However, in terms of power, he was still slightly weaker than Pure Feather Tao. As for why he was able to become the city leader of Swallow Mound City, there were two reasons. One of them was because he had absorbed a Blood River crystal. The second reason was because he had special connections with the world city leader in that territory. Pure Feather Tao, however, even though he was stronger, he couldn't absorb the Blood River crystal. Hence, he didn't have the right to become leader. Go crazy until you die. That would be the best. Rock Wind laughed coldly, following which he gave an order to his underlings. Go and check to see what exactly happened with the Pure Feather family. Yes. A soft voice resounded. The Pure Feather family had roots that extended extremely deep into the city. As for this massacre and abduction of their family leader, what level of stupidity was this? To enrage the elder Pure Feather Tao to such a state that he was searching the whole city personally, and also to activate the entire family and all its departments to madly search about. At the same time, the city leader's Rock Wind family, along with some other powers, all began to join in. The entire Swallow Mound City's undercurrent began to flow. The Yu family's Yu Yen Ta was a star level 9, his fleeing max speed had reached 8 kilometers per second. And Luo Feng, who was a universe level 9 with domain level 9, along with high comprehensions of the space origin law, could instantly accelerate and reach top speed. His instantaneous acceleration, even with the gravity of Blood River World, could reach up to 300 kilometers per second. When Luo Feng had grabbed the family leader back then, he wrapped him in spirit energy and immediately rushed into the skies, flying straight into the cloud levels. In the 15th level 30,000 kilometers away from Swallow Mound City, Luo Feng grabbed the family leader and finally stopped. What do you want? Pure Feather Chang's expression was pale. Having had his Dantian destroyed the moment he was grabbed, his soul was now under heavy pressure from Luo Feng's powerful spirit energy. Why are you asking me? Luo Feng immediately grabbed the space bracelet from Pure Feather Chang. Naturally, that space bracelet had his spirit imprint. However, Luo Feng's spirit energy became like a long pike and forcefully broke through the spirit imprint seal, causing Pure Feather Chang's face to go even more pale. Quite wealthy. Luo Feng held onto the bracelet, carefully examining the items within. You want money? No problem. However much you want, you will get. Just don't kill me. Pure Feather Chang said. You are a spirit reader, you can make me forget everything here and I won't even remember your appearance. Luo Feng frowned. Within the space bracelet, there were no Blood River crystals. Pure Feather Chang. Luo Feng looked at him. The family leader Pure Feather Chang at that point didn't even behave at all like the Na family leader. He suddenly felt enticed and hypnotized by the gaze of that black-robed youth before him. 1 second later his gaze grew dark, and he looked at Luo Feng with passionate respect. Master! Luo Feng stood in the clouds. Looking at Pure Feather Chang before him, he said, Let me ask you, do you know who has Blood River crystals? Does your Pure Feather family have any? Yes. Pure Feather Chong said without hesitation. Where are they? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. With my family's elder. Pure Feather Chong replied respectfully. Elder? Luo Feng frowned. He had heard of a powerful domain lord within the family, however he hadn't really confirmed that before. Yes, the strongest in the Pure Feather family, also the strongest in Swallow Mound City. Pure Feather Chong said. The Blood River Crystal is with him. However, even though he acquired that one, no matter how he tried he couldn't absorb it. Hence the city leader position landed in the Rock Wind family's hands instead. Your family elder is stronger than the city leader? Luo Feng had heard from him. Yes. Pure Feather Chong said respectfully. The city leader just became a domain level over 100 years ago. According to the elder, he can only be considered to be within the early stages of the domain level. However, my family elder is in the later stages already. Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. From the looks of it, the city leader was about domain lord level 2 or 3. After all, he had only broken through over 100 years ago. Normal people breaking through required them to slowly absorb the energy. To go from level 1 to 9 required a very long time. Even in the universe, only the most elite of geniuses could receive nurture like Luo Feng's, as there was no need to waste time in such quantity-related training. Other than your family's elder, who else has the crystals? Luo Feng asked. The ones I can confirm are the elder. Another is the general of the Swallow Mound Army, Rock Wind Zan. Pure Feather Chong said. Rock Wind Zan, he is the younger brother of city leader Rock Wind Xiong, he's on good terms with me. Back then he even took out a crystal to show off to me, saying it was something his older brother gave him to absorb. Ah! One is with your family elder, another is with Rock Wind Zan? Luo Feng smiled and nodded.